Welcome to America's fourth largest city. After 5 seasons without football, the NFL is back. The Houston Texans take off on their journey. Next, live.
CLS's go for EP, LO2, pressurization.
Capcom, this is Flight Control. Do we have a response from Expedition 4? Negative, Flight. We have no word from Expedition 4. They are aware the clock is running. Houston, stand by, Flight. Go ahead, Expedition 4.
Houston, we have a selection.
You are go for liftoff. Maintain propulsion and velocity. We have reached maximum payload.
That's one small step for man.
Watch your trajectory. Keep it steady. Steady. Touchdown.
One giant leap for man.
Gentlemen, welcome to the expansion drive.
Houston, we solved your problem.
Roger that.
And we are live inside the Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, where the Texans fans and representatives of the other 31 NFL teams have come to watch Team 32 start to be put together. We're inside the draft room of the Houston Texans, where Dom Capers and company will make the selections today. Charlie Casserly, the general manager, putting together really some significant cornerstones to this franchise. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy President's Day with Sterling Sharp and Ron Jaworski, Mike Tirico. Welcome to the expansion draft. The last expansion draft we'll probably see for a while, but a very exciting day. We've been in Houston all weekend, and we can tell you they're ready for their football to come back.
If the guy's taking number one that we believe is going to be taking number one, tone and tempo is going to be set right away for this football team, because if it's Tony Boselli, they're going to be mean, they're going to be nasty, and they're going to be to deal with.
There is no doubt about it. There is depth not only at Tony Boselli's position, but the offensive line in general. If you're a quarterback or running back, you come to this Texan franchise, you're going to have some beef in front of you. You're going to have protection as a quarterback and room to run as a running back.
Chris Mortensen and John Clayton are here with us in Houston as well. We'll be hearing from them throughout the 2 hours, including some significant NFL news. But Gene Washington, the director of football operations for the National Football League, is set to get the draft going.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to be back in Houston. Welcome to the Houston Texans expansion draft. To all of you, the 3,000 fans live here in Houston today, and a national television audience on ESPN, the time is here. The Houston Texans are on the clock.
Well, with the Texans on the clock, here are the rules they are working under for this expansion draft. They can take between 30 and 42 players, or 38% of the 2002 salary cap. They'll go that way. All the NFL teams protected all but 5 players in their roster, punters and kickers, not a part of this expansion draft. Only 1 player that's been around the league 10 years or more can be on the list, thus selected here today. After a pick, your favorite NFL team at home, if it's not the Texans, can pull back 1 player off their unprotected list, and after a second player is selected, they can pull back the remainder of their list. However, this is significant in this draft. Many teams who are handicapped by the salary cap are going to keep their players out there, and that's why we're going to see teams like Baltimore, Jacksonville, and the Jets lose multiple players, in all likelihood, in this expansion draft this afternoon. This is not your toddler's expansion draft back to the Browns 3 years ago. There are a lot of good players. 155 on the list, 25 of them have been to the Pro Bowl. As you watch, on this side, you're going to see a list of your favorite team in the NFL, the players they left unprotected. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see who the Texans select, how much money they spend, and where they are in reaching those minimums that we discussed in the expansion draft rules. Given all that, you've gone over the list, culled it, looked at it, assessed it. who's the best available talent out there.
Well, you have to headline that list with a guy, you start from the inside out. You want to be dominant up front, both on the offense and defensive lines. So when you look at this list, you'll see a guy like Tony Boselli headlining the way. Number 1, Charlie Batch. Ron Jaworski made me pick this guy because he believes Charlie Batch can be a player in this league. I think a steal would be a Charlie Rogers, who is a return man on this list. And when you see the second page, you're going to see a top-notch corner in Aaron Glenn, a top-notch defensive tackle in Gary Walker. You're going to see a swing guy in Matthew Campbell that can play all 3 interior line positions. So I think when you look at my list and compare to who the Houston guys take, I think you're going to see a team that can be well put together, built from the front back.
And I agree with you. I do like Charlie Batch, but I don't think he fits the profile of what they want here in Houston. This team will build with a young quarterback. It'll either be David Carr or Joey Harrington, guys that will be their quarterback for a long time. Then there are some players that can fill a need. And you look at these guys, some of them are overpriced, some of them are too old. They do not fit the profile once again. But I believe Danny Wuerffel does. He's an inexpensive quarterback with some experience. And what you're going to need after this draft, as you begin to practice, go through mini camps, go through the off-season workouts, is a quarterback with experience that could get your team in and out of the huddle, lined up properly, and allow all the other players to integrate within the offensive system.
This all the input for the selections to be made by these gentlemen. Charlie Casserly, he's the general manager, directs football operations, part of the Redskin title days, has been on the job for 13 months, just like Dom Capers, the head coach of the Houston Texans, who got the expansion experience going in Carolina. 2 years as the Jacksonville defensive coordinator. Now he takes over, and fans are ready for the Texans to select. We'll meet the first take-in the expansion draft of 2002 when we come back to Houston after this. With you in Houston, we talked about the head coach and the general manager. It all starts with the owner, Bob McNair, and he's with Chris Mortensen. Mort?
Well, Mike, Bob McNair here, I assure you, not George Bush, the President of the United States, is the most popular man in Houston today. And Bob, this is obviously an emotional moment for you. Can you describe what you're feeling right now?
Well, I've been working on this project for 5 years, and to see it come to reality is an exciting moment for us, our family, our partners, our whole organization. We're delighted to have you in Houston, and we're looking forward to this.
I just got an idea here, a hint that maybe the guy you're about to introduce here is a little bigger than both of us.
Well, he would probably take up the front row, I think, but he's an outstanding guy, and I'm looking forward to having him in Houston.
All right, Mike, back to you.
There is no suspense. A lot of players have been brought to Houston by the Texans for this day. But even though we know where they're going, getting there is still enjoyable.
Yes, it is. It is outstanding.
The first players that we select are going to be the nucleus of our team. They're going to be the veteran group. They're going to provide the leadership that is so necessary for our team in these early years. The person that we're selecting as our #1 pick is an all-pro on the field. He's an all-pro off the field. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's an offensive tackle, Tony Boselli.
Tony Boselli was Jacksonville's first pick in the college draft. Now he's the Texans' first pick in the expansion draft.
And you see his number, Mike, at 6'8'9". He is one of the highest paid offensive linemen in this draft, and deservedly so. What he brings is he's a great player with his hands. He's a space eater. He is dominant. He is the guy that finishes plays like no other. You see right here, he's a guy that's going to wipe the defensive tackle all the way down. John, I think this is an outstanding pick for a franchise going somewhere very important.
Mike, I am with Tony Boselli. Tony, can you just describe the emotions that you're going through right now?
Well, I'm extremely excited to be here in Houston and to be part of this franchise. I think it's going to be very successful. There's a great organization, great ownership, great coaching staff, and obviously great fans, and I'm excited. It's a great sports city. It's going to be a great place to play football.
It's not all